Hello again. So today is the evening of day 2 of my writing retreat, and it's about 8:30 in the evening, and I have to say I'm actually getting ready to go to bed. Quite tired. Don't know why. I think it's just the slow pace and being relaxed. But I thought I would update you on how the writing retreat's going so far. I'm really pleased with it, I have to say. So this morning, my plan was to go for another walk, the same every morning, a couple of hours walk, listening to John O'Donoghue. And this morning I really felt the resistance to the idea. I did not want to go for a walk. I'd been toying with the idea of writing first and then going for a walk afterwards, because there's a lot of people here who go into their group meetings, and it's much quieter, and I was telling myself it would be much quieter and a better time to write while they're in their group meeting. But I knew that if I started writing, I would not go for a walk later. So I very, very quickly made a decision that, yes, I'm going for my walk. And I went, and I got myself ready and I went. And yeah, I'm really glad that I did. So it was a very different walk today, although it was the same walk. I went on the same walk as I went yesterday. And of course, yesterday I was following a map and didn't realise how much that detracts from the actual walk, because I'm focusing on where am I going and where am I heading, and am I heading in the right direction, and do I climb this stile or do I turn right before the stile, or, you know, am I facing north? I don't even know which way's north. But yeah, so there was I realised that yesterday there was a lot of that going on. And I think I said in my video diary yesterday, I listened to John O'Donoghue for the first half hour, but I couldn't remember anything of what had been said. Whereas today, because I knew exactly where I was going, I decided to do exactly the same walk. I had the map with me, but I realised very soon that I didn't need the map. I knew exactly where I was going. So I was able to be more settled in the walk, and I was able to listen to John O'Donoghue much more easily. It wasn't that I wasn't listening to him yesterday, but I was hearing it more today. And there was a few things that he said that really struck me. One of which was, he said something like, he was talking about God's will, and it's funny because God's will is something that's been showing up in my writing. He said something like, we're not in God's will, we're in God's imagination, the imagination of God. And that, it really struck something, I felt something in my heart around that. I can't really put words to it, but it changes something. Like, if we're in God's imagination, much more creativity in God's imagination than in God's will. So that really struck me. And anyway, I was carrying on walking, and I was walking, and I saw a barn, and I remember thinking, oh yeah, the barn, that's about a third of the way. It's about a third of the way of the walk. And as I thought that, in the Audible book that I was listening to, John O'Donoghue said something like, it was something to do with the journey not being the goal. And I realised that already, just on day 2 of the walk, I'd already set milestones of this is a third of the way, this is the next third, this is the next third, and then I'm there. And listening to John O'Donoghue say that made me kind of try and let go of where I was going to be next, where I'm going to be next, and where I was going to be next, and just be here in the moment of the walk and enjoying the walk. And he said something about the sacred, he said something about the sacred gift woven in wonder, not to miss it, not to miss the sacred gift woven in wonder. And so I noticed I slowed my walking down, and enjoyed the walk for the walk rather than for it's something that I needed to get done, which really ties in a bit with the other book that I'm reading in the mornings for inspiration, Araya Mountain Dreamer, The Call. And there was a sentence in her book that really struck me about do it easier. Like, it doesn't have to be such an effort all the time. And, the walking bit especially, I've been making very difficult just recently. So, or difficult in my head. It's not difficult to walk, but difficult in my head. So, yeah, that all fitted. So I came back from my walk, and I've written quite a bit. I think I was just doing a bit of a tot-up. I mean, I wasn't planning on how many pages I was going to write, but over the 2 and a bit days that I've been here so far, I've actually written 38 pages, kind of this size notebook, journal. And I mean, I don't know what I've written. I don't think I'll know what I've written really until I type it up. But I have done a lot of writing. Sometimes it's felt, it's just writing. It's not gone anywhere. And then other times it's felt like, there's just pockets where I've thought, I'm seeing something in the writing. What I mean by that is I see something that's helpful to me in the writing, which makes it feel profound. And maybe there's something to publish, but I don't know, and that's not what I'm doing it for. So that's been good. So I've been doing my journal entries. I've not been doing my journal entries at the time that I thought I would do them, but I have been doing my journal entries. So I have something for class on Friday, so that's good. This afternoon, I had just a short amount of time. So I just split the page into 4 and just wrote 4 little shorts. We call, if we do method writing, we do, one of the levels is shorts. I thought, I'm just going to write 4 shorts. And I think there might be something in those with a bit of work doing on them, but that's been good. And what else? Oh yes, the fun writing. That has been something very interesting. So the first night I wrote, I think it's 25 things I'm super great at. No, 20 things I'm super great at. And it was, I got to a point where I thought I was stuck. I was really surprised that I managed to get to 20, but the writing just got more and more profound in terms of what I was seeing about myself in that. Like the first ones were just quite superficial, but then started getting appreciative of really different things. And then last night I wrote 10 things I love about myself, and you would think that they would be very similar. So 20 things I'm super great at, and 10 things I love about myself, but entirely different, and really seeing myself in a quite a different light. There were some statements, some sentences that came out thinking, where did that come from? But that's so interesting. And then I was reading Araya Mountain Dreamer this morning, and she said something like, and I think I wrote it down here, sometimes it's important to see your own goodness. And I thought that's so fascinating that she says that in that book. And I chosen to be inspired to write something from a book called The Ultimate Brag Book About Yourself. And part of that is looking, and the ones that I've chosen have been looking at, in Araya's words, the goodness in myself. So, you know, synchronicities, I love how that kind of thing happens. So, yeah, I think that's about where I am with the writing this week. Oh, yeah, tonight's fun writing was 15 women I would love to interview. And I only got to 9 so far. I say 9 so far because I think it's one of those lists that I can come back to. But I thought it was interesting that the people that I want to interview, what I've done as part of this is the invitation, I think, from the author of that book is just to do a list. I've taken it further than that. And with this list, I've not only listed the person, but the question that I would like to ask. And it's really interesting about the questions that I've come up with for the different people. And I think I probably will share this at some point, maybe on Medium or somewhere like that. But the questions that I want to ask these women are for myself. You know, the questions about myself and for myself. But I'll share that at a later date. So for the writing retreat, really happy with how it's going. You know, don't know where the writing's going to take me, whether I'm going to do much, if anything, with the writing that I've been doing. But what's been interesting has been how much I've written. So, you know, when I write on a daily basis, I might write 2-3 pages, not very often, much more than that. But because I've had the time, no restrictions, not thinking about other things that I need to do, I've written a lot, really written a lot. And again, I think because I haven't got any worries about the time, I've not worried about whether any of it's any good or not, or whether any of it's useful, whether it's going to be published. I think I've just been having the time to write drivel, for some of it at least. I think maybe there's more drivel on the page than normal, than in my normal daily writing. And maybe that's because my time is so much tighter. I don't know. I have the luxury of writing a load of drivel. But I think that it's also gone somewhere. I felt like I've written something, maybe something important for me, if nothing else. So yeah, been a good couple of days so far. Be nice, interesting to see what transpires tomorrow. Okay, I'm off to bed. See you later. Bye.